Welcome back to Luxoid. Please click the bell and subscribe if you haven't already so that you can be notified whenever we release a new video. Everyone enjoys a good rags to riches tale. So what could be better than a story that concludes with a person who had nothing growing up becoming a billionaire? Not exactly the most famous billionaire now living is Jeff Bezos. The fact that the man resembles a more recent version of Lex Luthor doesn't help his case. While many people admire him and many people despise him for being the second richest person in the world, his life wasn't always spent buying private islands and disliking Elon Musk. The Bezos family wasn't prepared to have a child. When he was born, they were 17 and 19 years old. His mother was compelled to bring the infant along to night school lessons. On his grandparents' ranch, he worked hard doing manual labor for most of his youth. He even worked at McDonald's during the breakfast shift while still in high school. He was able to graduate from high school as valedictorian when he expressed his desire that one day, mankind might inhabit space. After college, Bezos noticed that the whole internet fad was actually growing pretty fast. He decided to start an online bookstore called Amazon.com, which would eventually become the biggest company in the world. Despite how huge Amazon became, Bezos still held on to his high school dream of sending people to space. He started Blue Origin and became a commercial astronaut himself. I'm sure he high-fived his younger self from orbit. By far, the strangest thing Bezos or anyone else in the entire world has ever bought was his giant clock, the Clock of the Long Now. It takes place only once a year and will run for 10,000 years. Well, that's a cool idea. It's definitely not one that's worth $42. That's more than half what he paid for his $78 million island. Bezos never really forgot his roots though. He ended up buying his grandfather's ranch, where he spent so much time in his younger days. It seems like everyone in tech is still chasing after the legacy of Steve Jobs, one of the men behind Apple. That's not surprising, considering the fact that his one-of-a-kind showmanship and his cool style made computers seem cool. While Elon Musk was born into a wealthy family in South Africa before launching Tesla Motors, Jobs weren't quite so lucky. His biological parents gave him up for adoption. He was taken in by Paul Jobs, a mechanic, and Clara Jobs, an accountant. Their adopted son showed signs of his legendary moxie when he dropped out of college to become an entrepreneur. While you might think his entire journey was all the kinds of success Apple sees now, the company jumped from failure to failure to failure, eventually to the point where they fired Steve Jobs. Once again came back though, he brought the company to the legendary status it has today. The iMac, iPod, and iPhone all revolutionized technology around the world. As oppressive as all that is, my favorite of his contributions is still Pixar. Every successful billionaire has passions that they throw big money at. For Jobs, that passion was definitely cars. He had an extensive and quirky car collection. Mainly though, he leaned towards European luxury or strange oddities that include a BMW Z8 that costs over $120,000, a Fiat 650 Coupe that cost $30,000, and a NASH METROPOLITAN convertible for nearly $20,000. Then, we've got his Porsches, which are his favorite. That includes his $37,000 Porsche 928, his $20,000 Porsche 944, and his $100,000 Porsche 911. At the end of his life, he was worth $10.2 billion. That's a long way from being the adopted son of a mechanic. So with a garage like that, you know his dad was proud. Mark Cuban is so rich today that he's the most famous rich person on a show about rich people helping other people become rich people. So how did that begin? Well, Cuban has the classic American story. His grandparents were immigrants from Russia who arrived literally on Ellis Island. He came from a working-class family but showed signs of an entrepreneur spirit early on. His first business was actually reselling baseball cards, stamps, and coins. Eventually, he joined the team at Broadcast.com and made it such a success that it was acquired by Yahoo for $5.7 billion in stock. This was an awful move for Yahoo, as the service they bought was discontinued a few years after due to the dot-com bubble bursting. But it was great news for Cuban, who shorted his stock and continued to advance his fortune. He's gone on to invest in dozens of businesses and even purchased the Dallas Mavericks professional basketball team for $285 million. Not only does Cuban have the classic American origin story, but he also spends his money in all the ways you'd expect an American billionaire to do. Let's just consult the billionaire checklist, shall we? Does he have a huge house? Big check. He dropped $17.6 million for a 24,000 square foot mansion in Dallas. What about private jets or yachts? Check and check. He owns 2 private jets and a yacht. Cuban bought an unlimited American Airlines ticket during a promotion for $250,000. He's called it the best purchase he's ever made. Today, Cuban is the shark of sharks with a sizable net worth of $4.6 billion. I kind of hope he still sells baseball cards on eBay every once in a while. You know, just for nostalgia's sake. Tyler Perry may be a massive success today, but his life was anything but successful at the start. He was born to a low-income family in New Orleans. His father was so abusive that Tyler literally changed his name to Perry to distance himself from the man. After watching an interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show, which revealed that writing can be therapeutic, he began writing plays. He then moved to Atlanta where he got to work slowly building his career. Things really took off when he created his Medea character. This infusion of comedy combined with the serious subject matters covered in his stories hit it big with audiences. It led to several big movies, which led to Perry starting his own production company and becoming a full-fledged mogul. Company is no small thing either. It has actually put Atlanta on the map. The first movie to film at Perry's studio was the massive MCU hit Black Panther. What an amazing film to start with, right? He even purchased a 34,000 square foot house in Atlanta in 2007 for $9 million. Today, Perry is worth just over $1 billion, which would have been outstanding to his younger self struggling theater days. He really does live in the house that Medea bought. As impressive as all that is perhaps the best thing Perry has ever done, it's to continue to be honest about his rough beginnings. He serves as an example for those in similar situations, or at the very least, as someone willing to talk about the kinds of things most people stay silent about. Even billionaires can be brave. Probably one of the most beloved billionaires today is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah began her life as part of a small poor family in rural Mississippi. From those impoverished beginnings, she got a scholarship to Tennessee State University, where she became a news correspondent at 19 years old. Later, she relocated to Chicago, where she launched her program. Oprah Winfrey started her magazine as a result of the 25-year run of her television program. She was known as the Queen of Media and was the wealthiest African American of the 20th century. She also began spending lavishly. She has acquired numerous pieces of expensive real estate over the years, including a $100,000 3-bedroom apartment at the Four Seasons Chicago, a $6.5 million home on a man-made island outside of Miami, numerous opulent Hawaiian properties, and a $6.85 million home in Montecito that she bought from Jeff Bridges. So precisely how wealthy is Oprah? Her most current estimated net worth is $2.5 billion, I guess. You must therefore clarify your origin tale in preparation for becoming a billionaire. Everyone likes that thing. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications as always. Thank you in advance for your feedback. I am Miss Luxurious signing off for now. Do not forget to visit our YouTube luxury channel Luxzoid to explore the exemplification of the great state of comfort and extravagant living.